WandaVision episode 4, and this episode might be the best episode of the show so far. And I think mainly because it is when feels the gears are moving. It does feel like, okay, we have 3 episodes in sitcom world, and now we are witnessing the gears. We are, because this entire episode, we are not in sitcom. In this entire episode, we are with S.W.O.R.D. We are the return. We're seeing the return of a couple of the characters from the MCU that we haven't seen for a while. Definitely with Kat Dennings' character Darcy, which is a character we haven't seen since Thor 2. Thor: The Dark World. The FBI agent, but he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man 2. And we are basically seeing Monica Rambeau's journey of how did she got sucked into the sitcom, what happened between her and Wanda, and basically S.W.O.R.D, the introduction of S.W.O.R.D, which is the logo that we kept seeing, and all these hints out through the episode, the previous 3 episodes, and how we got there. So essentially, it is a introduction of a organization, the house, and reintroducing characters that we have seen from previous MCU films, and it's handled pretty well because you are asking questions. The questions were answered was like, what? How did that happen? How did that happen? And this episode explains it. It explains all of those questions that we had of who was saying, Wanda, who's doing this to you, Wanda, yeah, or how in the helicopter that Wanda found in the yard in episode 2. It's so many. It is kind of fun to see, Darcy back. Was it Mia? She called Nonia, but Meow, that's what she called Nonia. Thor's hammer. I had jokes, I had humor, and this episode, you feel like, oh my god, the sitcom. Can we get over the sitcom? The first episode, this is what the entire show is about. This episode does feel like an MCU movie cut down to 30 minutes, and it does feel like Act 2. It does feel like the first 3 episodes were Act 1. This episode, we'll see about episodes 5 and 6, but this episode feels like, this is the start of Act 2, and 7, 8, and 9 will be Act 3. And it's really well put together. But the biggest what the fuck moment, and by the way, there's humor. There's like jokes about like Vision. It'd be like, wait, he's dead, and we not mean blimp dead. We mean dead. Like he got killed before. The big purple guy did that. There's jokes about that, and the whole idea of like, so the universe created a sitcom starring 2 Avengers. Like, all the MCU jokes that you want them to put in, and it's handled pretty well. Now, spoiler territory. Spoiler alert. That I need to talk about the last 2 minutes. First things first, Wanda is fucking terrifying. I will say this, and when we hit episode 9, it is not going to end happily. It's going to be ending sadly. We are going to have a no more mutants, her whispering no more mutants moment, which is what Wanda said in the comics. If you don't know what the no more mutant is, it's a historical house elm, which I actually read last week for the first time, where she said no more mutants and 90% of mutants lost their powers. And so we'll probably have something on that. Some people are saying no more children because of the billboard stuff with the set photos for Spider-Man, as I have, as I said, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange will be linked to WandaVision, so it's all that kind of stuff. She's just terrifying, like absolute terrifying, and it's even more creepy and terrifying that she, in a way, I mean, she's hanging out with a corpse. Seriously, she's walking around with a corpse. Like, with Vision. Because we're like, well, how is Vision alive? How can she... In her mind, in her reality, Vision's alive. But in reality, it's just his carcass. And I'm just saying, it's weird, because she's making out with her dead robot boyfriend. She's, husband in the context of WandaVision. She's fucking this dead sex toy robot Vision. So in a way, she's a necrophilia. In a way, is it necrophilia if it's a robot? Yes, it is. You might take out the batteries, but it's still dead. Interesting. How does Vision from the trailers, come back to life? I do think she's going to let go of Vision and have that big crying moment and be like, I can't let you go, I can't, that kind of scene. But nearly at the end, Jesus, the more this show goes, the more creepy it gets.